Most guitarists think learning the fretboard means learning hundreds of locations on the neck. That's what I tried, and it did not work. Then I discovered that learning notes on the fretboard is just pattern recognition. And once you understand these 4 concepts that I'll be talking to you about today, you'll be able to quickly and easily learn all the notes across the entire fretboard. So let's get into it. So the first idea is the musical alphabet. It's really important for you to learn the actual notes before tracing those notes on the fretboard. You need to learn what the musical alphabet actually is. And for that, we just use the regular letters on the alphabet, just starting from C. So that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B. After G, it kind of loops back to A. And the curious thing is that we can look at any other note or scale as just a modification of that, which is why we use the terms flat and sharp. Flat meaning that the note is half a step below, and sharp meaning that it's a half a step up. So for example, if we have G over here, and if you know the concept of flats and sharps, then you know that just lowering it a fret below will be G flat, and going half a step up, in other words, doing the flat version of G, that will be G flat over here. And this saves you a lot of time, because if you know one scale, then you can modify that scale to arrive naturally at the other scale. So for example, if I have C major over here, and if I just modify one note, if I take that B natural and turn it into B flat, then suddenly right here I have the F major scale, all without moving my hand on the fretboard. It's just because I know that the difference between C major and F major is one flat, B in this case. So that means that no matter where you are on the neck, if you're playing C major and you want to go to F major, you just have to turn that B natural into B flat. And this helps a lot when learning the notes across the fretboard, because it gives you a kind of shortcut in a way to certain scales, just like I did with that C major to F major example. Now, the second concept is the concept of landmark notes. And by landmark notes, I mean notes that define the neck in some sort of way that we can use as a landmark, as a reference point. So the classic example of that would be the 12th fret over here on the neck, which you might know is just the note on the open strings, but an octave up. And learning your landmark notes really helps reduce the work required to learn the neck, because those landmark notes serve as a reference for other notes on the neck. Similar to how we described before, if you know that this one's A, for example, then you know that one fret above is going to be A sharp or B flat. So you didn't have to memorize 2 notes there. You just memorized one note, and because you know how sharps and flat work and how landmark notes work, then you just naturally arrived at the conclusion of what that other note would be, half a step up. So examples of landmark notes include the open strings, which are just A, D, G, B, and E. The 12th fret notes, which are literally the same as that, just an octave up. The 5th fret is also a great landmark note because it's a tuning reference. So A here on the 6th string, 5th fret, the same as the 5th string open, and so on and so forth. And other great examples of landmark notes are demonstrated by the dots on your guitar. So these dots on the guitar really help you to learn the notes on the neck. If you treat them as landmark notes and memorize what notes are in each string in each dot, then that'll really help you speed up the process of learning the notes on the neck. I really recommend you try that one out. So the third concept that's really going to help you learn the notes on the fretboard as fast as possible is the octave shape. Now, the octave shape is essential for learning notes on the fretboard. It's literally a cheat code for that, almost. Now, the idea here is that using octave shapes, you can look at one note through the entire fretboard. And the other advantage of that is that you'll know how octave shapes look all around the fretboard. So there are multiple ways to get octave shapes on the neck. The easiest and most recognizable one being, for example, this shape, which is part of the common power chord that we all know and love. So that's one octave shape. But if we take that and expand it, we look at F over here, but then we also have F here, and then on the second string over here too. And then moving on from that, we can also look at this F and the bottom octave of that F over here in the 5th string. And then from there, we have over here its octave on the 3rd string. Then from there, we have its octave on the 1st string over here. And then we kind of circle back to that first position where we have the octave in 3 strings on the 1st string, on the 4th string, and on the 6th string. Hopefully you're seeing that pattern, that the octave at the end of the day will always be 2 or 3 strings and 2 or 3 frets away, no matter where you are on the neck. And that's a great exercise to do. For example, just taking that F note, finding it throughout the entire neck like we just did. And then when you're right there, how can you find the nearest next note in the circle of fourths? In this case being B flat. So what's the closest B flat that we have over here on this part of the neck? That will be this over here. So now we do the octave thing, but going down the neck instead of up like we did for F. So and then what's the next note on the circle of fourths? That's E flat. So what's nearest E flat to where we were just now? That would be E flat over here. So again, you go up the neck. And so on and so forth across the entire circle of fourths. So moving on, the fourth concept that'll really help you learn the notes on the fretboard really quickly is just the idea of the caged regions. And you might have heard of the cage system before. If this is your first time here or you're new in this channel, I talk a lot about that because it's the main way that I look at the fretboard to not get lost, to know where I am no matter what part of the neck I am. But the idea here with this concept I'm talking here about the caged regions is how you use the caged regions. It's not just going throughout all the regions. It's going actually one region at a time when learning the notes. So for example, if I want to learn where all the notes in the F major scale are, then first you're going to want to look at it in the first caged position down the neck, which in this case will be this position. And if you're going to use the cage system and its regions to learn the notes, then first learn it in this region over here before moving on to the next region. And you go one region at a time. Once you have that region down, then you're going to move on to the next region, which would be over here at the 5th fret. Same thing, once you have that down, then can you move on to the next region, which would be over here on the 7th fret, and so on and so forth across the entire neck. This concept especially helped me a lot when I was learning the notes on the fretboard, and it's super useful because it makes everything just way more manageable. It's not the same thing saying learn the entire neck, then learn this small little corner of the fretboard first. And on top of that, we can even subdivide this further. For example, if we have that caged region that I was just talking about, then you can start by learning the notes on the first 3 strings, for example. So that will be just learn the notes on those strings in that caged region, and only then move on to the next strings in that same region. And this is so useful because it just helps you subdivide the neck into more manageable chunks or pieces that we can more easily conquer. It's what helped me a lot when I was learning the notes on the neck. So in conclusion, you do not need to learn 120 plus notes on the neck. You just need to internalize and practice the 4 things that we talked about: the musical alphabet, the landmark notes, the octave shapes, and the caged regions. Everything else is just pattern recognition, because at the end of the day, the guitar is a visual instrument where we look at it through things like shapes. Now, if you'd like to go deeper with this, I've prepared a free guide for you called 3 Steps to Fretboard Mastery. In it, you'll learn how to take all this and apply it to your playing so you never get lost on the fretboard ever again. And it's free for you to download today. If that interests you at all, you can find it in the description down below. And until next time, keep practicing.